What up? This is your boy DJ EFN. You might know me as a drink champ, but first and foremost, I'm a proud father. I linked up with two of my other dad homies, Manny Digital and KGB, to start the Fatherhoods podcast. Each week, we bring you insider hip-hop stories, parenting, and advice and therapy. The saying is true, it takes a village, and we humorously serve as each other's trusted counsel in figuring out how not to screw up being a good dad.
The Fatherhood Podcast. Beats, rhymes, and diapers.
Yo, Fatherhoods fam, when you're out and about with your baby and they start wilding out, what do? Most dudes are fumbling through the traditional baby bag their lady prepped for them, trying to find that one thing that will calm the kid down. That doesn't have to be your life. Dig no more. The firstborn diaper backpack from Fly Dad has over 21 compartments to have everything right where you need it to be for you and your baby, and keeping you fly through the process. Get $20 off when you visit flydadgear.com/fatherhoods.
Fatherhoods, what's going on?
Yes.
It's been a minute, right? Or you guys recorded last week? Because I know I didn't record.
No, we did. I don't even know if we did a throwback last week.
Yeah, we did a throwback.
we didn't release anything?
I don't know.
Man, we getting bad, man.
No, we don't do that.
Fatherhood is kicking our ass.
Summertime fatherhood for sure.
So right before we started talking about Kay said that the world is, what'd you say? The world is getting bad?
The world just feels fucked up right now.
And then I was going to go into my tangent about how...
Aliens?
No. You know, like the one thing that I could always say that I would carry on to my kids is my parent, my mom specifically, always saying, that they've been saying the world's going to end since she was a kid, or the world, you could always look at history and say it was always worse.
Right.
But what I do think that we right now in this moment can honestly say that's never happened in the history of this planet for humans is the speed at which this technology is advancing, mainly AI, but coupled with obviously with the internet. And I've been watching a lot of podcasts and digesting a lot of information about AI and just people kind of predicting things. And they're like saying how within the next 10 to 20 years, they feel that it's going to be almost an unrecognizable world in terms of what AI is how much is going to change because of AI. And obviously with robotics and all this stuff that's being added to AI. So what do you guys think about that? And I know I'm kind of nervous for my kids.
I'm definitely nervous.
Hey, Manny's ready to he's going to plug in. He's going to be like, Manny Digital.
I mean, like that, there's a lot of fear mongering going on just in general. Like,
I don't think so, bro. I think
not just AI, but this, I don't know, man. I understand like the advancement of technology is moving at lightning speed, like nothing like we've ever seen, like you said. And this is way too simplistic. I'm not suggesting people subscribe to this, but like I look at it like this is just like the evolution of the calculator, right? So, for example, everything was done in your mind or on paper, before the calculator came to be. The calculator came. It's a tool, but it isn't something that we can't do without.
My man, the calculator never thought for itself.
It simplified tasks.
But that's what I'm saying is the difference. This is a self-learning thing that's only going to get more and more advanced. It's going to understand that it's self-learning and continue to create the next iteration of itself to be even better at self-learning.
It's the movie. I mean, it's countless movies like that. But
I, Robot, or
yeah,
I think of the Terminator, that intro where the robots are like, because when you apply okay, you could say it's fear mongering, but when you see the video of the Chinese military training with robotics, you see the sales to citizens here in the U.S. of robotic dogs with flamethrowers. Like that's a real thing. Yeah. When you see Tesla trying to roll out their Tesla robot that's AI compatible, that's going to be rolled out in the next year or two, they're saying that's going to be able to be your bodyguard and your maid. I mean, come on, and these things this is happening now, or rolled out in a couple of years, that by itself has changed the world.
I mean, there's no doubt it's changing the world. Like this stuff is the world is gonna look different.
AI drones, like,
but like machine learning has been around for decades at this point. So this is just the evolution of that.
Right, but this is different, man.
I think the one thing that the kids have an advantage of is they don't know any different than what's here now. So even
advantage or disadvantage?
Their advantage, just in terms of like mentally speaking, right? In terms of it, of it not necessarily blowing their mind, because it'll just be like, oh, okay,
it's normal shit.
Just think how quick they pick up on some of the shit that happens nowadays. It's intuitive, right? So it'll be an evolution throughout the years, and it'll be like, oh shit, technology can do this now. Much like for us, it was an evolution from what we knew. I think for us, being older is just more of a mind fuck, because we know what a world was like without a lot of this stuff.
Well, let's add another layer to this. Why I think it is kind of doom and gloom to an extent.
Aliens.
No. So we're gonna let's just say all the positive comes out of this, and the generations don't know the difference to them.
I'm not saying it's positive.
No, okay. But I'm gonna add both of your guys' perspective. Okay. Manny's positive. He's like, yo, this is great for humanity. I mean, you're more positive.
All I'm saying is, I don't think humanity gets erased.
You're humans. You're the human traitor. Let's just be real.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're positive, and then you care saying that the kids are growing up on it, so they won't know the difference of what happened, what it was before it. So psychologically, they're fine. Now, it seems like that all sounds like a lot of dependence on something that's vulnerable, that could be attacked at the electricity level, at the grid level. And so, humans can divulge into animals at a natural disaster point or at an EMP.
Well, we're already devolving.
Right.
Think about how crazy everyone is right now.
No, yeah, you're right. But imagine how. Okay, so think about how crazy everybody is
I know.
with AC technology and food, and look at what happened during COVID. People ran out of toilet paper and were losing their minds and about to kill each other with toilet paper. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like right now, my homeboy that does graphics for Drink Champs, I didn't even know this was happening. He's in Texas. Apparently, they have some kind of heat wave that took out their grid.
Power. Well, it was from the hurricane. The hurricane hit him and knocked out power. But now that they're in a heat wave, now you've got a bunch of people for days who don't have power from the hurricane.
He said it's crazy. He hasn't had power for a few days already, and they don't know when it's going to come back. So imagine if you add the dependency on all these technologies in the near future, and imagine if these robotics go haywire because of something going wrong. I don't know, man. Like for example, are you gonna get a Tesla robot if everybody starts getting one?
No,
maybe not, right? But my thing is, you might as well, because if everybody's got one, I might as well get one.
Initially, probably no, but eventually, like with most things, you're like, oh, maybe it's not that bad, and then you jump in. But yeah, if that shit comes out, I guess eventually that shit takes over.
I think probably the one thing we got to remember is our jobs as parents is, and some of us might not even be good at this shit ourselves, but like trying to figure out and taking the time to teach them some life skills that aren't technology related, so whether it's how to build a fire or build some shit or whatever. And I can't say that I'm the most handy, but maybe it's an opportunity to learn some things as well in case the bottom falls out and people need to go back to depending on.
Yeah, and plus these kids don't play outside anymore like that. Yeah. They don't do the things that that we used to do.
Like I remember my mom sent my son a gift maybe 2 years ago, like a fire starter kit.
Dope.
Where you do it with the flint and everything. And man, he was obsessed. He was out in the backyard and he was out there for hours just till he finally got it going. So like that kind of stuff. Those are good skills to have.
But I feel like those things, if not now, probably soon, are going to come back into vogue. because when you go too far into one thing, like if we're so reliant on technology, these things that let's call them old school, like
Yeah.
normal shit, right? They become nostalgic.
Yeah.
It's like vinyl made a comeback, and I
Right.
mean, not that we can depend on that to be like the counterbalance, but those things, as you look at history, like those types of things start to happen. Like, I look at the advancement of technology kind of in parallel with capitalism, right? And so, like, the world for the most part is capitalistic. That I don't think is going anywhere. Technological advancements now, on the one hand, create a lot of benefits for people, like efficiency and all these other things. On the other hand, it creates it could be, for some, it could be complete and total destruction, because if they don't know how to adapt to it, leverage it, be a part of the workforce that can
All right. Stay up
work
to
with
date
it
with
or
things.
around it,
Right.
they're gonna get decimated. But that's with every revolution that we've had, right? Industrial or otherwise. Does this have It's like when the nuclear weapons came out, the world was pretty much about to die. Like, that's kind of, I mean, it almost came to be. Still is at risk, right? With some of the nuclear powers that are, but at what cost, right? Like, we're not. I don't believe that humans are going to allow a machine, however intelligent it might be, to consume humanity.
But you know what? But the point is that we're going to get to a point where our allowing or not allowing is irrelevant, because they will, the technology will have stepped up to a point where it
It can,
doesn't need it. It can bypass what humans want.
Also, governments for historically have been able to put fail-safe in military hardware and things like nuclear weapon systems and all these different systems. But I think with the advent of AI and the way that people now have learned to program and all this stuff, a terrorist group that's well funded could apply all this stuff in such a negative way. Like, AI is just on a search engine level could teach you anything and everything.
Mhm.
Could teach you how to make all kinds of weapons and bombs. Like they banned the anarchist cookbook when I was a kid. I had it. Me and my friends had it, and they banned it, and we got in big trouble at school because of it. Who needs that paper manuscript now? Like, you just tell AI what you want it to find for you, and it in seconds it's going to tell you everything you need to know, and the vulnerabilities of this. And, like, it only takes some really intelligent hackers, well-funded hackers, to they don't even have to be well-funded, they just have to be good at it, at hacking.
But there's also the other side. This, like in this example you just gave, you got call them the black hackers and then the white hat hackers, right? So like
You're racist.
that's what they call them. Typically, they are like the most advanced at hacking, right? You got both factions.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that's always going to be, nobody's necessarily going to pull all the way to one side. And I think it would be the same with, how technology evolves and like all these different things. Like, are we going to have issues? 100%. There will be issues. There will be casualties. You're going to see things like what you just talked about and what you see in the movies happen. Like AI going out of control, getting sentient. Like we've heard from some of these developers in the recent past. It happens. It will happen. I just don't think it's going to get to a point where that becomes it, and then everybody else is kind of a slave to it.
Man, I just think when you're at a point where now you could send robotics to wage war and look, we already seen it with drone warfare.
Yeah. That's crazy.
How much murder and mayhem. See, we have the luxury of being in a country that's not on the front line, but have the same conversation we're having with a father in Ukraine or on the Russian side or in Gaza, and let me see what they're going to say about all this technology that's attacking them, about drones. So you add that element of AI where the drones do their own thing, which they already have, and a future of warfare where the humans, the people don't have to be on the battlefield. imagine the type of war that's going to happen, the type of chaos is going to happen with that. I don't know, man. I don't see it as easy as you see it, or as like, I don't know. I just see there's so many ways that things can go wrong, and so many nefarious and bad actors out there that can purposely make it go wrong.
So what's your prep plan? Seeing and I agree with you, but I guess from a parenting standpoint, like how do you see yourself preparing your family for this potential future, and
Oh,
like what kind of moves do you think you need to make to keep everyone safe?
I mean, I'm stressed because the moves that I want to make, I haven't made the moves I want to make. But like for me, it's like identifying a place that you're gonna go in case something happens, or maybe a couple places that you can go depending on what
Mm-hmm.
happens. Uh, the only thing that I've been able to do is arm myself, in case I have to defend the family,
You
and
gonna
that's
shoot? You gonna shoot the
Got
robots?
got nunchucks?
no, no. But the thing is that the robots is one thing. What I'm trying to tell you is the breakdown of society when things start to go array.
Yeah.
Like it's one thing. I'm not saying the robots that's going to happen immediately. I'm just saying once things start to go haywire,
Well, yeah, no, people are going to turn on each other left and
people are
right.
going to turn
Yeah,
quick because they're
exactly.
going to, like I said, the toilet paper thing. Like people are going to lose their minds, and so you gotta, just to get out of like major cities to play. Like let's just say in a couple years, major cities, which we already are controlled by all this, like they have the AI, they have robotics doing different things, and all of a sudden something happens and all that breaks down or turns on you. Then you got a bunch of people trying to get out the city, and people, ransacking the people trying to get out the city, or ransack people in this. Like it's just chaos is going to ensue. I saw it during Hurricane Andrew, in the aftermath of Hurricane Andrew here locally where I was at. Like for the most part, the community, really banded together. But there were like these wild groups of people, armed groups going around, hijacking the trucks that were coming in
Mm,
to give out supplies. And
yeah.
and then they did what's it called? What do they call it when they put that curfew? They
Oh, yeah.
not martial
Yeah.
state. What do they call
Martial
it?
law.
Martial law.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of people that don't know that a lot of people got shot, and a lot of people got hurt by the military out here because it got so bad. The military started freaking out, and they just started like, not even asking questions, myself included. I didn't get shot, obviously, but what I'm saying is I went to go visit a friend in a neighborhood, and they had roadblocks in different neighborhoods, and it was past curfew, and they put their guns in the car, and we're just a bunch of kids, and they were like trigger happy, like they were anxious. They were
What was
nervous.
that? Was that 92?
93.
Oh,
92, I think it happened.
okay.
Yeah, 92. Yep.
Wow.
Anyways, the whole point is, and going back to what you asked, Heather, I guess I'm anxious and I'm scared because I don't have all the plans that I want in place already.
Mm,
And I do think there's a lot of easy things we can do. And I have another friend of mine that actually, he has a group because they're all military, all ex-military, and they have a community already that already has bought land somewhere. They have action plans. They've only allowed people into their group that serve a purpose for the group. So medics, different people that would have different jobs and different responsibilities in the community that they're building in case something were to go wrong.
Do they
And
have a podcaster? Because you should jump in.
Do they have a white bearded DJ that I could serve for the entertainment in the
Right.
community? But just hearing them, and this is a good friend of mine, just hearing the fact that they're that serious and they're all ex-military is pretty freaky to me,
But you see that though with like ex-military folks doing a lot of the what's that shit called? Like the bunkers and that kind of thing. You hear that a lot too.
Yeah, because they've seen real shit. And when they see the
I get
news,
that.
you know what I'm saying? They're just like, yo, obviously the best scenario is to be ready for anything and nothing happens.
Sure.
But what happens
How
is
do you-
people will see people prep and then laugh at them because nothing's happened yet.
Yeah, well, that's dumb. Because I mean, it could like being preventative is like, even though I'm more positive than you guys might be, I'm not gonna. If somebody's getting prepared for some shit to go down, I'm not gonna be laughing. I'm gonna be taking notes. Like, all right, maybe I'll start to think about some of these things because it could easily turn. It's a question for you.
I don't know
guys.
why I pictured Manny opening his luggage and throwing some socks and underwear in there. I'm getting ready now.
I'm good. But like, and this could be to my detriment, but I have a lot more faith in humanity than I think a lot of people do. I think generally things will work themselves out. Not without any issue. There will be some issues because nothing's ever perfect. But because of our trajectory historically, like I just feel like there's a general good over bad. That's how I look at it.
There's a general good.
Like the good outweighs the bad, just humans.
But think about it. Even good people in bad situations do bad things.
100%.
So all you need is a breakdown in society, and you'll start to see a good person that that's a father of kids might have to turn around and do something wild to protect his family that's bad to this family.
No, and it will. I'm not saying that things like that won't happen. But like think about here in this country, the Great Depression. I couldn't tell you how that shit was right. I don't have anybody that could even tell me the story, but that was one of those moments in history in this country that could have easily been like one of those like, yo, everybody's getting it. Like I don't give a fuck.
But because of the way news traveled back then, that's why it didn't collapse the way it would now. The speed at which people will know something is going wrong and then
instant.
freaking out in anticipation is so fast. Back then, people didn't know they were in the Great Depression, so they had already been depressed, and some people, their next door neighbor, maybe committed suicide, and then later on, 10 years later, they found out that what they went through was called the Great Depression. They just thought it was a bad year, like, oh man, me and my neighbor, we had a bad year,
It was just a bad couple of weeks.
But let the Great Depression happen now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why you
now
why you go like this? You got to fly it?
No, I was talking to Kay.
But real quick, one thing I wanted to mention. So I saw this report about a company that actually, shout out to Charlie who sent me this. He's like, this is a great investment. And I was like, no, it's not. There's a company in Israel that has tackled designated driving as a business.
Okay.
And their company has been able to figure out how to, for lack of better terms, hack into most modern cars. So you don't need a special car and you don't need anything special in your car. They can hack pretty much all modern cars, all their cameras. All they're saying is you need to have clean cameras, but if you're going to use their service, make sure you clean your cameras. But all cameras in the car and the computer system in the car to drive your car.
Remotely.
Oh. So I was telling, and maybe I shouldn't say this out loud on a podcast, but I was telling people, I don't know if I told Charlie this, but I was thinking to myself, you know how they say that all technology that we have in the public space was probably in the military space for like 20 years already?
Right.
And this is Israel, a company in Israel. Something tells me that maybe some people got assassinated and they wrote it off as, oh, they got in a car accident.
Very possible. I wouldn't doubt it.
Now imagine a terrorist group getting a hold of that technology and all at once crashing a bunch of cars, having them drive off bridges, drive off cliffs.
Yeah. But I get what you're saying. I choose to look at it the other way. Like that's a small percentage
of what? Of people dying?
Well, potentially, hopefully, very small, if at all. But the terrorist organizations getting their hands on things, those terrorist organizations are small in comparison to major military forces.
I'm with you on optimism, but I always put myself in the position of the people less fortunate. So imagine you're in Japan during World War II and someone says a rumor about this bomb being created in the US. Oh man, they're gonna use it. Maybe they'll use it on other. Like, man, you watching too many sci-fi. You're reading too many sci-fi comic books. There's no bomb that could do something like that. I believe in humanity. They would never use something like that. Boom, boom. Oh yeah, it got used. A lot of people suffered. A lot of people died. Manny Digital was wrong in that situation.
No, you see, you take what I'm saying as black or white. That's not what I'm saying.
I'm not saying I'm not saying black. I'm just saying that the Manny Digital in that Japanese village next to Hiroshima, who was telling everybody, "Nah, it's never gonna go that far. Humanity is more good than bad." That Manny Digital in that side of the world was wrong for that moment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's all I'm saying. We live in a comfortable position to be able to be optimistic, is what I'm saying.
I agree with you.
Yeah,
I agree with you on that. I'm not saying shit's going to happen. Things are going to happen. People get tested and they feel away. And look, the way the world is shaking out, like the proximity of people is getting closer and closer. Like the world is smaller and smaller. People can get to anywhere really, really quickly. The emotions around how people are treated around the world are all over the place because forces, governmental, you name it, whatever, are getting into things that are creating a lot of havoc. I don't know if we ever get away from that because that's just the nature of human beings, it seems like. So shit is going to happen. I just don't think it's going to be like an apocalypse or Armageddon. I don't think it's going to get that severe.
I just think it's where you're standing for the apocalypse.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
mean, you standing close in Japan for those 2 bombs, that's the apocalypse.
Yeah, you in Palestine.
You're in Gaza right now. Yeah, you're in Gaza. That's the apocalypse, you know? Yeah. So you're in the Congo in the middle of whatever's going on there, the apocalypse. So
yeah.
So thanks a lot, man, Digital. Go say.
Okay, everything good?
Shooter on the loose, so just.
Oh my god!
Speaking of chaos,
man, Digital's like, I believe in humanity. He's gonna put down his gun and pick up a flower.
This EFN manifesting shit. There you go. Keep talking that shit.
Blame it on me. Blame it on me. So what's going on in your neighborhood?
In my wife's job.
Oh my god!
So hold on. She's okay.
She's okay. All the cops and everything are out there, but they've telling no one can leave the building. Obviously, they got everything on lockdown, but they haven't found the shooter, so no one really knows what's going on. And all the buildings
someone got hurt.
No one knows, but all the buildings are connected and everything. They haven't caught whoever is shooting. They don't really know anything, but kind of sucks to. I mean, not kind of fucking unnerving to be stuck in a spot and So we'll see. I mean, hopefully, and sucks to have to use the word hopefully when you're talking about a shooting, right? Hopefully it was more of a altercation between people, like an argument because, people are quick to pop off arguing these days, as opposed to someone who's deranged and running around shooting at folks. So, yeah, we'll see.
Speaking of atrocities, this is the negative episode. Might as well keep going. So yesterday, my kids are both all 3 of them are at camp right this summer, and so they spend the whole day there, like from 8:30 in the morning to 4:00 in the afternoon. They're there. Yesterday, one of my friends in the area texted my wife and I. Was like, "Yo, a 10-year-old kid got run over and is in critical condition in like one of our main streets here, right?" And so, if you think of like, it's a narrow street, shops on either side, like small street. Like, say again?
You're saying it's hard for something like that?
I'm just saying, like, if you're a regular driver that has some sense, you shouldn't be speeding down that street. It's not like an open road where it's more, likely for you to do that.
Moral of this podcast episode is no one has any sense anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. So this kid apparently gets hit. It ends up being a kid that's in 8th grade, so not 10 years old, but and from what we understand, they were in surgery, so it went from like a fatal thing to there is some chance of survival now. But that I was trying not to freak out because the first bit of news that I heard was 10-year-old boy gets hit by a car and is dying. And my son just turned 11, so I'm like, it could have been 10 or 11. And and it's a small town, so first thing was like, yo, what if my son like left camp and ended up over there crossing the street? And I'm like, nah, that's not gonna happen. But you start to think, and then this community is really tight. So that kid, we're like 1 degree of separation away from somebody we know knows that kid. And I'm just like, yo, be like in a moment. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I could get distracted when I'm driving anytime.
Mm-hmm.
And I could, God forbid, be the person that causes that kind of trauma to somebody. And it's just like, you play all these things out in your head. And I'm just like, yo, I'm so grateful. Like, I really try to take it serious. Like, yo, if I have my phone with me, not messing with that. I use the hands free for everything if I'm going to use it at all. And I really just try to stay focused. Even if somebody's talking to me, I never even look over. Because God forbid I'm ever causing somebody that kind of pain. Let alone myself, right? But I'm thinking about somebody else because people on their, I bet you, I don't know what the story is, but I bet you somebody was on their device, whether it be the pedestrian or the person in the car,
right,
that likely caused the situation.
Yeah. You can't get too comfortable driving.
So, I mean, technology, again, kind of tying this back, like, is a fucking self-sabotage in a lot of these cases. People running around their cars and not really paying any mind.
Yeah.
So this has been uplifting.
well, so my daughter did something for the first time. The first time things. She's in a dance summer camp, ballet summer camp, and the summer camp. Well, 2 things happened. One, and I've been nervous about both of them. One is that they were going to go to a trampoline place, which is down the street from where the camp is. It's in a warehouse district, and they walked there, and that had me terrified.
Yeah.
It's not far at all. It's like a quarter mile down the street, if not less, but they have to cross a 4-way stop.
Yeah.
And I told my wife, I was like, I don't know, man. She's like, it happened. It ended up happening. They ended up doing it, and it was fine. But I don't like it. I didn't like it. So the next thing that she did with the camp is they wanted to celebrate one of the older kids. A 12-year-old was having a birthday party, and they were going to go to a restaurant with the whole camp. So it's from 12-year-old down to my daughter's age, and they were going to the parents of the kid having the birthday plus the teachers of the camp were going to drive all the kids there. And I'm just like, I'm not ready for that. Like, I'm not good with having my kids. I'm not worried about my kid leaving with my wife in the car.
Yeah.
Like, that worries me. It worries me with me too, because you can't control the drivers, but I'm like, God forbid, whatever. It's just nerve wracking. And so I told my wife, look, we're going to let her have the first, in terms of she's going to be in a restaurant without us for the first time. We'll let her have that. And she deserves that. But please pick her up, take her, which she did, dropped her off, stayed in the mall because it was at a local mall, and then just grab her when they're done, which she did. And then, my daughter was, she behaved well, she had fun, but I just couldn't do it. And I'm just wondering, because my wife was kind of like, at first, like, she thinks that I'm a little bit, overbearing with this stuff. But what do you guys think?
Yeah, you might as well hold on as long as you can. I think we were like that too. I mean, we're still like that in terms of, even if people want to do carpools and shit like that, we're often like,
Just don't know.
I don't really know these folks. Like,
I mean, now she has they're doing a field trip now, but with a bus, which again, like, I'm like, oh, back to square one, dude. Like, now that I think about it, if I'm available, I might just drive. I don't know, but I feel like I'm taking away from my daughter's experience. Like, let her experience this. Maybe it's not the same as them driving in their personal cars, and they got a bus driving them now.
I'll tell you, it happened to us. It happened in phases. Like, first, we were really strict. We were like, nah, we'll take you wherever you need to go. Like, we just didn't most of it was we didn't know the people. So we don't know how you are, who you are really, how you get down, like how you move around driving. Like we didn't know any of that. So you could be a lunatic driving for all we know, but come across as like a halfway decent person, and signals get across. So a lot of what we did kind of subconsciously was just observe. Like we just observed the people we were around, just see how they conduct themselves, unnoticed, like not really planning it, but like catching them driving from place to place. We'll see them at the supermarket and then happen to be following them because we go in the same direction. Like little things like that. And I'm not saying people should like plan this as part of it.
And we can't stalk them, like
right. But it just so happened like that's how it worked out for us.
right.
So when it comes to carpooling, like it was baby steps. So like Kay said, like until you feel comfortable, don't feel bad about that shit. The school bus, though, I think is a different situation.
Well, I don't know if it's a school bus per se. They might be renting
like a big van
or a service, yeah.
But when it's like activities like like you just said, or like school, some related things, that experience is one that they really do enjoy. They have all three of my kids, like the sense of freedom, being with their friends in that, an automobile, all those things do create kind of these memories for them. But school buses, are not really that safe. Like,
no,
they don't even like really use seatbelts.
My school, I'm thinking about school buses when I was in a school bus. The drivers were thugs. Like,
not in my neck of the woods. That was one thing that I was super like observant about. I was like, yo, who am I dealing with? Getting to know these people and then checking for them. But back in the day, it was like no holds barred.
Yo, dude, these people had like mental issues. Like a lot of them, like no disrespect, this is probably really good bus driver, but I had some bus drivers that would wild out at the drop of a dime. Probably for good reasons because the kids were wild, but they would drive crazy.
Do they even have seatbelts in buses nowadays? Or no, they still don't have.
Ours didn't have them.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean back then.
I've had school driver, the bus driver purposely brake because the kid was wilding out, so the kid would fly.
I've seen that. Yo, but I think it's a safety precaution not to have seatbelts.
Oh, okay, got it.
I think that's why it's not
to get them out in case of an emergency.
I think there's a few things. I think that their chances of survival maybe are better without them in a bus. Like I don't know. There is some rationale behind it.
You would think they would update these fucking school buses, bro. There's the same yellow fucking bus since I was in fucking school.
Yo, the ROI on them things is amazing because them shits are like workhorses. Most of them motherfuckers been around since like 1960.
World War II, bro. Like they were actually olive drab green. Like, come on.
Right.
They were in MASH. Anyway, so that's that situation, and now I'm gonna ask my wife where this field trip is going. I might have to do some more get involved. But then
you could be stalker on this one though, and like maybe say, yeah, you can go and just follow the bus.
That's what I'm thinking of doing.
Oh, I thought you were gonna take her yourself.
No. Follow the bus.
Got it.
Be like a unwanted chaperone.
Yeah. I bet you there'll be a line of y'all too. A line of same shit.
Well, it's a small like camp. It's not that many kids, I don't think. But the other thing that we just started, and I want to know what you guys did, is we started just yesterday, and today's the second class of personal swim classes.
Love them.
Yeah, swim class. Good.
We have a swim teacher come to the house. Thankfully, we have a pool and teach them one-on-one. And my daughter did great for her first one. My son, not as great as my daughter.
Actually, my son, we started swim lesson, and he did not like the swim teacher for whatever reason. I don't know why. And he stopped wanting to go. But then he was determined to teach himself how to swim. So he
YouTubed it.
Nah, he just, we got the floaties and put him in water and let him start figuring it out over by, and then after a while he got it together. I mean, his form wasn't the best, but then after that he started doing swim team and all that kind of shit.
No, I love it. My kids,
The swim instructors.
Oh, that's okay.
my kids learned that way,
Hello.
and really went. Oh wait, hold on. He's taking an important phone call. He's talking to his swim instructor. Oh, it's serious. He took his
Oh, yeah.
headset off.
Yeah.
No, but my kids became really. I feel like they learned faster in that environment than they would have in like a more group setting or even like at a public pool or whatever. It was just because it was super customized
Yeah.
for them where she met them where they were at and then optimized the instruction, based on that.
Yeah, for sure. That's
So
the
that
way to
was
go.
dope. Love this. Love this. So, okay, your son is doing a lot this summer. Wait, is he doing work? Is he working?
On and off.
Oh, okay, that's
On and
good
off. Yeah,
then.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He had some on and off work, on and off day camps, like basketball camps and stuff like that. And
Yeah,
then at home, chill, find things to get into, find things to do,
dope.
which is good. I like him having some headspace to figure out how to entertain himself.
Yeah. That's dope. And
Yeah.
it mixes it up for him. So he's working all sorts of parts of his brain.
Yeah. Yep.
That's dope. Do you find like because I know it's been a little bit now, is he well acclimated with your new surroundings or is he still?
Yeah, no, he is. Whether or not he likes it is that's a different story.
Is he on some like when I'm old enough, I'm gonna move to wherever, California or
Yeah,
wherever?
yeah, he's definitely in that space or like, where are we going next? That kind of
Oh,
thing.
okay.
But I'm just trying to remind him to be in the moment. You know what I mean? It's like appreciate this for however long we're here, whatever we're doing here, because as you leave somewhere, and then it's always you do something else,
Yeah.
and then you always remember it as like what's the word I'm looking for? It's almost like it's a more romantic memory of things, right?
Right.
That makes
Right.
you miss it more.
Right. Yeah.
Like when we were in LA, right? Plenty of great things there and where we lived and all that good stuff. But there was also things that were like, oh fuck, we got to get out of here.
Yeah.
But you don't remember those, you
You only remember the good stuff.
right. Yeah. So there'll be good things to remember from this chapter as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll sneak this in real quick. I know we're running out of time, but
Swimming classes got canceled today.
Oh, the hurricane's coming or something?
Yeah, rain.
Oh. So you're gonna have to listen to the episode so you can hear my 2 cents on the swimming classes. But we went to Montreal this past weekend. So we left on July 4th. So it's funny because we're leaving the US on the Independence Day.
Yeah.
Going to Canada. But
not like us?
Right. So we drove. This is our second time crossing that border, driving. And it's funny to me, and this probably makes sense, but they asked mad questions when we crossed the border into Canada.
Yeah.
I got asked one question on the way back, like, are you declaring anything? Like, nah, just these kids. And then let us right in. Now, I'm a U.S. citizen, but still, like, I'm just like, yo, security's a little imbalanced right here. Like, something's up. But we had a ball outside of everything being French in Montreal.
Yeah.
Is Montreal cool? Is it a cool spot?
It's a cool city. Yeah, it's a cool city. But it's like, how, the Crazy Hood crew, 30 plus years of friendship and all that good stuff. Like, it's kind of why we went to Montreal. So my childhood friend his daughter was turning 16. So they did a Sweet 16. So we all, like the whole block, all of us friends of his came up. And it was wild to see, like we took a bunch of pictures with the kids and everything. And to see the second generation of us kind of hanging out and being friendly. was such a dope vibe. Like, and my wife would look over to me and be like, yo, can you believe like that's y'all, but the new version, right? I'm
You
like,
sure they weren't robots?
most
He'd be
of the
okay
time,
with that.
most of the time, I'm not sure my kids are human. So yeah, it could be.
He'd be like, I programmed them.
But it's just one of those like really cool moments where I was just like, as a father, I was like, damn, bro, like that group of guys, we've been friends for so many years, and our kids are nurturing kind of their own relationships, and to some extent, because we have such solid relationships, we kind of want them to also have that, but no, giving them the space to like choose, right? Like, because
Right.
two kids may not click for whatever reason, and that's fine. But so far, so good, and it's really dope to kind of just see that come to life organically,
Right.
in Canada. But it was dope.
So,
Ah, oui.
All right, y'all.
all right.
Let's get back to life.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
Peace.
Yo, be a father. If not, why bother, son? A boy can make 'em, but a man can raise one. Be a father to your child. Be a father to your child.